Welcome back, everyone, to the late night review, and I'm so pumped to get back to this is one of my favorite movies. I'm happy to get back to Chuck Norris, and a movie that I wanted to do for a while, to have a review about, and it's a movie that I've seen over and over and over again. It's Breaker Breaker with Chuck Norris. Yes, it's a B-rated movie. Yes, it's cheesy, extra cheese, but I love it. It's fun. A lot of scenes are out in the country. Really good fight scenes, fun fight scenes. No, not terribly realistic like a lot of martial arts action movies, but it's fun, it's interesting, it's athletic, very entertaining. This movie came out in 1977. That was the year I was born, and I rented this movie a long time ago. It was rented for me, but when I was a kid, I picked it at the video store and just really liked it. I absolutely liked it. I rented it multiple times. It was rented for me multiple times. I really like. It's one of my favorite Chuck Norris movies, Breaker Breaker. It's a story where this city is set up in California. It's called Texas City, California, and this group of people, they got a city charter, excuse me, city charter, and they have this city that they set up in California, and it's a racket. If it's a city that's corrupt, if you go there, they'll try to rob you, try to find. Not everybody in the town is evil, but there's a lot of corruption there. It's kind of controlled by a judge, and he's played by George Murdoch. The judge is played by George Murdoch. I think his name is Judge Trimmings, if I remember right. And but it's got comedy. It's cheesy. There's a lot of funny parts in here too. And George Murdoch has been in various shows. You might know who he is. He's been in various TV shows and movies. He was in Barney Miller. I don't know how much, but he was in Barney Miller. That was a show I grew up watching as a kid. And the song at the beginning of that show was always funny. But yeah, he was in Barney Miller. I think I seen him in an episode of The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. That was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I remember watching The Incredible Hulk over and over again as a kid. George Murdoch was in that and various other things. And he's funny in here as the judge. He's a bad guy. He's got corrupt police working for him. They'll beat people up for money. They'll try to it's a racket. They'll try to get money from you. If you go there to have coffee, if you go there to eat, if you go there to do anything, they'll try to take your money. Somehow, they'll cheat you somehow. And anyway, Chuck Norris's brother and Chuck Norris, they're both truck drivers. And the one thing I love about this is there's so many fight scenes outside too, and there's a lot of scenes that take place in the country. I like the setting. The music is fun. It's got that 70s style. I got a lot of nostalgia for this. And Chuck Norris's brother is a truck driver. He doesn't have as much experience as Chuck Norris, but he is making a delivery, and he gets deceived, he gets tricked by a police officer who happens to be working for this Texas City, California city, and it's a speed trap, and he deliberately tells him to go the wrong way, stops his truck, talks to him and says, you're going to have to take this road here instead of this road, blah, 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 blah. They got some construction going on. You got to go down this road, and he takes the wrong road, and he ends up in Texas City, California, which is where they wanted him, and they basically try to take his money, get him to pay fines, and they beat him up, throw him in jail, and he tries to escape, and they work him over. He goes to trial, like they have a mock trial, he goes to court in front of the judge, Chuck Norris's brother, and it's not a fair hearing at all. It's just a way to fine him and get more money. And then he tries to escape. He tries to get away, but they beat him up really badly, and they hold him prisoner. And Chuck Norris goes to Texas City, California to find out what happened to his brother, and it all unfolds from there. There's great action scenes. Chuck Norris fights them. It's a good martial arts movie. It's fun. the martial arts, you know, just like a lot of martial arts movies, it's not terribly realistic, but this is a really good opportunity, especially if you like Chuck Norris, to see him in his early movies. This is one of his earliest movies, if not his early. I think it's his earliest starring role, if memory serves me right. This is before Good Guys Wear Black, and it's a young Chuck Norris, and he's kicking butt, and he looks good. He's athletic, and it's fun to see him young like that, 1977, and he's just one of the greatest of all time to me, one of the greatest martial artists, but to me, one of the greatest action stars of all time. If you like martial arts, if you like action, I would really suggest that you do a deep dive into Chuck Norris films. There's probably a few that you haven't seen, especially younger generations. I mean, there's great, to me, he's one of the best action stars of all time. I love Forced Vengeance. I love The Octagon. I loved An Eye for an Eye. I loved Breaker Breaker. Lone Wolf McQuade, that was awesome too. That's one of his a little bit more well-known. You know, his Missing in Action films were awesome. Good Guys Wear Black. I think Breaker Breaker though. In The Hero and the Terror, that's awesome. The Delta Force 1 and 2. To me, Breaker Breaker has always been in my top 3 or 4 Chuck Norris movies of all time. I really like Breaker Breaker. It might even be in the top 2 or 3. I like it that much. Sometimes I like it the best, but usually it's Forced Vengeance. He's done a lot that you should check out. And Breaker Breaker has really good fight scenes. He gets revenge for his brother. He goes there. He rescues him. And this is a spoiler. Almost every movie review on my channel is a spoiler. There's really fun music in here. It's a fun, just a kind of a fun atmosphere. A lot of fights, a lot of action. It's not a slow pace at all. It's got a good pace. And I can't say enough about how fun it is. You know, B-rated for sure. The acting isn't terribly great. Cheesy, like I already said, but I always have a good time with this one. It's kind of fun to have your, I haven't had popcorn for a long time, but if you eat popcorn, if you have your soda and your treats and all that stuff, which I haven't drank soda for a long time either. I got other stuff that I have that's not healthy for me. Don't worry, I'm on top of it. You know, too much carbs, too much sugar and all that stuff. But my diet's not the best in the world, but you get your snacks, sit down, watch a nice show, watch a fun show, an entertaining show. This is one of those. It's just a fun movie to enjoy. I wonder what it would have been like to see this at a drive-in. I bet that would have really been fun because there's so many scenes that take place outside in this movie. And I know I'm kind of rambling on and not too refined in this video, but I don't want to act, you know, I just want to kind of be myself in these videos, so always be myself. But I really enjoy this movie, Chuck Norris when he's young, and it's good to see him kicking butt in here. And if you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat if you like martial arts movies, if you like Chuck Norris. I highly recommend this movie. It's a ton of fun. That's the thing I could say about this movie is it's fun. If you just want a fun time, fun action, you're out, and enjoyable, that's this movie here, Breaker Breaker. I can't recommend it enough for that. And this has been the Late Night Review. Please like and subscribe and share this video, and have a good night, everybody.